Hi, I'm Andrew. Grace is my sister.
I'm Grace. Andrew's my brother.
We're broadcasting to you from District 14, the podcasting district.
Why is it called that, you ask?
Because 14 years ago, a movie was released which was based on a best-selling YA book written by Suzanne Collins.
We saw it on opening weekend and exited the theaters, forever changed.
That movie was called The Hunger Games.
It's difficult to articulate what a phenomenon the Hunger Games books and films became during the 2010s unless you were actually there.
And that's where we come in.
Every episode will cover one chapter of the Hunger Games.
And share secrets the Capitol doesn't want you to know about.
We'll also share secrets that you might not want to know about.
So this is your last chance to avoid spoilers or potentially upsetting content.
The series centers around the death of miners, and it doesn't get much better from there.
So, without further ado...
Happy Hunger Games!
And may the odds be ever in your favor. Section 1. Previously on District 14. So, sad story. You know how Katniss and Peeta had to say goodbye to all of their loved ones?
Katniss promised Prim that she would win for her, and ordered Astrid to take some cat kush if she started freaking out. They were so upset they got lost in the Justice Building and visited Peeta by accident?
Otho also got lost in the Justice Building on the way to his son. He wandered into Katniss' room by accident and impulsively handed the daughter of his crush cookies. It was as awkward as it sounds.
Weird guy. Speaking of crushes, here comes Madge. She was the only one to not get lost in the Justice Building that day. She got a sense of direction.
Yeah.
Madge generously gifted her the Mockingjay pin to Katniss and smooched her on the cheek. You know, because they're such good friends. Hashtag Undercat.
Hashtag Undercat indeed.
Yep.
I really feel like we started a movement here.
Exactly.
And to run interference, Madge sabotaged Gale by telling him Katniss could be found down the hall and to the left. Gale stormed in, and without looking, kissed a very confused Peeta on the lips.
What are you talking about? No, he didn't.
Grace, read your line as it's written. Gale
stormed out, both boys blushing and agreeing that while hot, it would never work out between the two of them because Peeta is a Pisces and Gale thinks astrology is stupid. Typical Scorpio behavior, am I right?
You are right, Grace. All those things definitely happened in the last episode. Take our word for it. Alright. Glowering at the giggling gay Madge as he went down the hall to the right, Gale became Katniss' final visitor.
His lips were tired from all that locking with Peeta. So he just asked her to remember I before being cut off.
Team 12 boarded their Capitol-bound train just in time to catch their televised debut and the official cast reveal for the 74th Annual Hunger Games.
The female tributes are Glimmer Glitz from 1, Clove Crush from 2, Zoom Zoomer from 3.
Read the script as it's written, Grace.
Trippet Stinger from 4, Vixen Foxface Swiftfoot from 5, Jojo Siwa from 6,
Karma's a bitch! You should have known better.
Natty's Mahogany.
Yes.
Natty's Mahogany from 7, Hedel Ember from 6, Pumpernickel from 9, Catalina Herder from 10, RuPaul from 11. And last but not least, Katniss Everdeen from 12.
It's okay if we got their names wrong because they're going to die soon anyway. The male tributes are Marvel Comics with a C from 1, Kato Kalin from 2, Phyla Boomer from 3, Bravuro Milo from 4, Shift Manager from 5. I want to speak to his manager. Jason Todd from 6. Steel Beam from 7, DC Comics with an X from 8, Hallelujah from 9, Drove Rover from 10, Thresh McDonald from 11, and last but not least, Peeta Malark from 12, who was recently Guy's very first kiss from Gale. And while hot, it would never work out with them.
Exactly. While hot, they agreed it would never work out. Who among this year's crop of tributes with interesting names that I'm reading for the first time today will get the honor, no scratch that, the privilege of cleaning up their mentor's What am I reading? Their mentor's Technicolor yawn. Fun fact, fact, Andrew told me today that Technicolor Technicolor yawn means barf. He just casually
I wouldn't
said,
say it in a more classy way, Grace. This is a classy podcast.
He just casually said, "Hey, did you know another way for saying barf is Technicolor yawn?" And I went, "Okay," before recording this. I didn't know it'd be in the script.
Grace, you're being very unprofessional right now and vaguely insulting about my writing prowess. But I'm going to ignore that for the sake of the pod. Okay, all this and more in nonstop coverage of Hunger Games LXXIB, coming to you live from District 14.
District 14 is made possible by viewers like you. Thank you.
Section 2, reruns. Well, we've made it to our 4 episodes and we haven't lost you so far.
Exactly.
We have 2 comments from the same listener, Granford0554. They say our vibes are on point. And they didn't remember the flash heaters in Chapter 1 either. I'm glad you highlighted that, Grace. I didn't highlight it the first time because I thought we were going this is going to be a nice, normal episode, a nice, little quick one, and then it ended up being an hour and 40 minutes.
It happens.
We'll see how future episodes pan out.
Yep.
According to our parents, we're also doing a bang-up job of catching the casuals up. How casual are they?
Well, they thought that Liam Hemsworth character was named Gil, and they're like, why do they keep on calling this guy Gale?
Yeah. They're like, did we fail you as parents somehow? Did we not impart on you how to pronounce Gil?
Which is wild. I definitely remember us forcing at least our dad to watch this, if not both of our parents.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's our hope. If we taught you one thing about the Hunger Games, then all of this was worth it. We hope you enjoy this episode, starring Gil and the rest of the Hunger Game.
Exactly. Okay.
Hey, here's a good kisser.
Ew. Ew. So...
What do you mean, ew, Grace? Do you not like that man kiss another man?
Andrew, I'm literally gay married. Shut up. Okay, so we start out the episode in another gross way, where Haymitch has barfed.
Yes.
He has barfed on the moving train. And with the train moving, the barf whooshes down the train.
And it follows Effie as she's storming out.
Down the corridor where gravity follows. So, he barfs. And they say that they're almost gonna barf. Katniss says the reek of vomit and raw spirits almost brings my dinner up. Now, can you imagine this scene? It was in the movie. Everyone starts barfing.
Like that episode of Family Guy with the Epicac?
You just go, Haymitch first, Katniss, Peeta, he throws up a whole loaf of bread, I chew.
He just swallowed it whole like a python.
Exactly. And then Effie, what would she throw up? Like a bouquet of flowers or something?
A bouquet of flowers. She'd be like, I haven't eaten it all today, so it's just dry heaving. So, but no, unfortunately only one person barfs. I didn't say Wait, why do you say unfortunately? I think it's fortunate that only one person barfed. Out of everybody on the train.
Exactly. And so, and then Peeta and Katniss look at each other like, well, I guess we better help him up. And then Haymitch, very charming, says, I tripped? Smells bad.
And then he's smearing his own sick on his face. It's disgusting.
Yep, so Peeta's like, okay, dude. Okay, drunkle.
Yes, drunkle. Do you think that Peeta's ever had to deal with his parents being drunk?
Possibly. I mean, I get the feeling that alcohol is probably more of a luxury item.
Yeah.
And costs more. And his family doesn't have a ton of money.
Well, they are on the wealthier side compared to District 12.
True. You just never know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And now, they say that he threw up because he was just so intoxicated, but I personally like to think that he tried to do the Bruce Bogtrotter challenge.
Must I ask, what is the Bruce Bogtrotter challenge?
Well, Grace, I thought that we saw this movie a lot as a kid, but I guess you're a fake fan or whatever. The Bruce Bogtrotter challenge is in Matilda when Bruce Bogtrotter is forced to eat an entire giant chocolate cake in front of the entire school.
Oh, okay. So you're saying you wish that he threw up from eating a cake. That's your wish.
Well, there's a cake on the train, Grace. There's a big old chocolate cake that the Captain provided District 12 in the last chapter. And I think that Haymitch already ate a giant chocolate cake and they smelled another one. And then he went into this part of the train and say, it was like, chocolate cake, and then he got sick.
Okay. Interesting.
Yes. I mean, who's going to tell him to take it slow on his birthday? Effie? If she told him to take it easy on the rich food, he'd have probably done it despite her.
Yeah, he's lucky that he didn't barf on her this time.
Yes, well, this time.
This time. He's done it before,
Yeah.
I'm sure of it.
Yeah, last year, the kids had bad table manners, and Haymitch threw up on me.
Exactly. Oh, man.
Yeah. One thing that I find very interesting reading the book versus the movie is that the introduction is very different.
Yep.
And it's about as different as you can get, where Effie is like, oh, we haven't really seen Haymitch by this point. He's probably in the bar car. Still a great name. And then Haymitch comes in, and he is holding his side, which is possibly because he's just so out of it, or because his old Hunger Games injury, where his innards were literally ripped out of his body. Yeah, his innards were literally just ripped out of his body. He spilled his guts out, and now, he's like still feeling the pain of the president. Movie Haymitch was not at the reaping. He couldn't have fallen over the stage. Whereas book Haymitch is always required to attend District 12's reapings as its only living victor. Maybe he was too hungover to attend, or at the time Woody Harrelson was too expensive.
Possibly.
Yeah, it would be a scene where he's staying down and not speaking, so. Yeah, and then Haymitch is having a delayed introduction on the train. It's delayed even further by Effie mentioning him before he actually appears. And she sets him up efficiently by speculating he's in the bar car before wandering off to find him. It's implied by her annoying tone and slight frown that she disapproves of Haymitch's rampant alcoholism. He's avoiding his tributes, and he threw up on her that one time.
Yeah, exactly.
This is significant for Effie as a character because early on, she's frequently shot in close-ups and quick cuts which emphasize her garish faction, caked-on makeup, and how her place her chipper attitude looks and sounds in an impoverished area.
Even in the first little bit, Gail, also known as Gil by her parents,
yes,
is joking about it with Katniss and says, "Happy Hunger Games, may the odds be ever in your favor," imitating her voice.
Yeah, they see her every year when she shows up to collect the kids.
Yep.
Yeah, and with this expression, we see that Effie is viewed as awfully untrustworthy by the people of District 12. But she is at least taking her job seriously and is genuinely attempting to aid her tributes by going to fetch their mentor in the movie. And in the book saying, look, you can make fun of Haymitch all you want, but he is your lifeline. You have to take him seriously.
Yep.
It's clearly not protocol for him to have been gone for this long. It could seriously impair his ability to serve as District 12's mentor. His commitment, or lack thereof, to his tributes have life or death consequences. And while Katniss and Peeta are waiting for the mentor to resurface, Peeta adds to the mystique of Haymitch even further by asking Katniss, has she ever met Haymitch before? He clearly knows of Haymitch, but he's so evasive it's unlikely Peeta ever had the opportunity to interact with him unless Haymitch is secretly breadcore. He elaborates by saying Haymitch has already won his own games. This is telling the audience that while Haymitch is flaky in the present, he did win in the past. It's also showing us that after victors win, they are expected to mentor the new generation. And after setting out the film up until this point, Haymitch finally enters the dining car. Alright, he is entering without Effie. Given Effie exited the door opposite to the door Haymitch entered, my interpretation of the staging in this scene is that he's either hiding out in his compartment, or you're searching for the other train cars to find chocolate cake and alcohol strewn throughout, because he's already gone through the contents of the bar car. When the chips are down, Haymitch wants to get drunk. Having come up short in his endeavor to find additional spirits in the other train cars, he begrudgingly deduces that the escape he found can be found in the dining car, hence him finally turning on his heel and meeting his tributes for the first time. Haymitch sarcastically, "Congratulations," his tributes before pouring himself a generous serving of spirits and rummaging around for ice in the car. His priority is not the children who need his help, but cooling his drink. When Peeta states that he doesn't know when the ice is in the tray, Haymitch roughly slams the lid on the ice tray. The way he closes the lid insinuates violence. He's surly, perhaps even a little dangerous. Because of the first-person format, we are told that Haymitch is a drunk, that he's a celebrity. But when it comes to translating this material to the big screen, we have to be shown that Haymitch is wealthy through his fancy dress. We learn about how he's generally perceived by the facial expressions of everyone around him. When Peeta asks for help, Haymitch pretends to think about it before advising him, embrace the possibility of your imminent death, and know in your heart that there is nothing I can do to save you. When Katniss becomes indignant towards him, asks him, why are you even accompanying us at all? Haymitch's dark sense of humor returns, saying, "For the refreshments." We also learn that Haymitch isn't wearing any shoes, baring his bare foot.
Showing his feet for free.
For free. Why don't you just start Only Victors like everyone else?
What's that foot website called? The one where you rank feet?
Nickelodeon.com?
No! No! It's something else. There's like a website where they post famous people's feet. Well,
like Facebook, Footbook?
I have no idea. Anyways.
So, having gone away one, Haymitch dizzily points himself in the direction of his compartment next to the scene, but not before he snatches a tiny little cake on his way up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is his birthday, and I mean, one chocolate cake was great, but having this tiny little cake, he just needs the tiny little cake, so the tributes don't have the tiny little cake.
Exactly.
He's not even going to eat it, probably. He just wants them to not have it, because they make fun of him.
Well, he's definitely going to throw it up.
Yeah. Yeah, good thing Effie's in the other car. Mm-hmm. Do you think he'd throw up on the conductor? And then the train comes to stop, and they're like, "That's disgusting, I have to clean myself off."
I think that in this entire enormous train, he's probably vomited in every single car.
Yeah, he's marking his territory.
Exactly. Like a dog.
Yeah, we now return to the book.
Yep.
The biggest practical difference in this scene is that when Haymitch returns in the movie, he enters the room in the movie. He finds his lunch and exits of his own volition. In the book, he loses his lunch in Chapter 3 and has to be dragged to the showers by her heroes in Chapter 4. Katniss's keen sense of smell, as the hunter's brought up, and her gag reflex is threatening to be triggered, but she's just sort of sticking up. He's like, "Well, gotta do something."
Yep.
I mean, we can't just leave him there.
So they throw him in the shower, and then, Katniss, overthinking as she does, she's like, "Oh, Peeta's probably helping out because he wants to have, extra favors with him. But no, actually, maybe not, because Haymitch isn't going to remember this." And so then she's like, "Okay, why don't we have some of the capital people help you?" And he's like, "No, I'll handle this by myself." So she's overthinking it, and she's like, why would he not take assistance from people who are supposed to help? And then she says, "It's just because he's being kind, just as he was kind to give me the bread."
Oh, no.
He's kind. What a concept.
Yes.
She finds it so hard to actually believe that he's a nice person. She's like, he's manipulating me.
Yeah, the closest thing I am to being nice is when I am more pleasant outside and less pleasant at home.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and this is the beginning of the District 12 trio, a relationship between these three people who will go on to change the country forever and ever. Haymitch is 4 years old as of this very date, having won his games at 16, the same age as his tributes. And at this point, having mentored 23 years worth of Hunger Games. It's surprising he's alive at all with how much he's abused his body. By this point, there are 46 children he's seen die game after game, never recapturing the magic of his teen idol years by crowning his own victor.
Yep.
Yeah, and then something that's also worth mentioning is that while Katniss can kill and clean animals no problem, she's easily grossed out by the messier aspects of the human body, such as burns and nudity. This prevents her from being as good of a healer as Astrid or Prim. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to go down. Katniss is starting to get wigged out by Peeta's kindness. Oh dear. Kind people are working their way into her heart is crucial to understanding Katniss's constant push and pull attitude with social interaction. She craves connection, but is deeply skeptical because her childhood had to be sacrificed to save her family when Astrid fumbled the ball. Mm-hmm. Additionally, she grew up in the districts, which are populated by a bunch of bad actors. There's the unscrupulous Booker boys, the reprobate headpiece Burger Cray, and the merchants who look down upon the scene.
Mm-hmm. So she really does not trust almost anybody at all. And even if she trusts someone, she kind of doesn't trust them.
Yeah, she kind of keeps them at a distance. Like Gale and Madge. She didn't even really figure out that Madge considered her a friend as well.
Yep.
And it took her years to, stop haggling with Gale over the negotiations of divvying up the food.
Yep. And so, him being nice kind of wigs her out. And she says, "A kind Peeta Mullark is far more dangerous to me than an unkind one. Kind people have a way of working their way inside of me and rooting there, and I can't let Peeta do this. Not where we're going." So then she decides, I'm going to emotionally disconnect from him. I'm not getting close. He's going to manipulate me by being a nice person.
Yep. And so when they stop at a refueling station, Katniss picks up the cookies that Otto gave her and then tosses them out of the window.
Yeah, she's dramatic.
Yep. Hee hee ha ha wordplay of Katniss tossing her cookies right after Haymitch tossed his cookies.
Very true. That's fun. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. This is why I'm an English major. You get to see all these little hidden connections in literature.
True.
And when I started this podcast for that matter, it's great to bounce off you because you know about all this video stuff. Yeah.
Good stuff.
And there's a line that channels Grace's partner, who I think very highly of. No more of either of them. And then the universe just seems determined to spoil Katniss's bad mood with the cookies hitting a dandelion patch. And then she's like, oh no, that reminds me of the dandelion I saw after you gave me the bread. Why?
So she talks about basically after getting the bread and then seeing dandelion, and she realized, like, oh wait, I can eat this food. Like, there's food all around us. I can scavenge and I can figure out things. Like, she has this resource. She has this book. It's from her dad, right?
Yes.
And it has all of these plants that you can and can't eat and all that jazz. And so she uses it, and then after that she realizes, wait, I can hunt too. So basically, eating the bread, it all leads to her family having food. They even say, we hadn't had meat in months. So she hunts a rabbit, and then the mom acts normal for a little bit, and then says she acts confused, and then went back to bed.
Yeah. And also I'd like to point out something before we go on, because there's a pretty big tangent about birthdays.
Yeah.
So, in the last chapter of this book, when they're returning from the capital, the train stops at what appears to be the same platform that refueled at earlier, and then Katniss and Peeta get out and stretch their legs. My question is, did Peeta ever find that packet of cookies and wonder how the Millark family's baked goods made it all the way out there?
Yeah.
It's like, what? It's my family's logo and everything. Katniss, why is this here? I don't know.
I don't know.
I guess people in District 11 really like your cookies. It was rude of them to leave it there.
I will say it's very dramatic to be like, oh, I don't like Peeta anymore at all. I'm just going to throw the cookies away because I can't be close to him because he's actually nice. She's dramatic.
They're even oatmeal raisin, my favorite. Ugh. Yeah, and Grace, would you like to tell the story of how you and your friend gaslit me about baked goods that one time?
So I have a friend, and her last name was Sugar Baker.
Mm-hmm.
And we were in college. We were giggling. It was finals. It was late at night. We were so stressed out. And then Andrew started messaging her on Facebook. And so he started asking things like, oh, your last name is Sugar Baker. What do you like to make? And we were just losing our shit giggling and kept on saying baked goods. Goods that are baked. And Andrew over and over kept on trying to get more information. Like,
yes.
okay, like...
I found different variations. Like, what's your favorite type of baked goods to make?
And we just were losing our minds giggling, just saying baked goods over and over.
Yeah, and I had no idea what was going on. The next day I visited Grace at college and said, hey, Grace, is there anything about your friend, Miss Sugar Baker, that I should know about?
And we just cracked up, and then I ended up telling Andrew the story.
Yep. And I felt very duped. I was like, is Miss Sugar Baker okay? Are they
Yeah.
well?
Yeah. Just kept
Yeah,
saying
and then,
baked goods
but
over
my
and
favorite
over.
part, though, was that they said baked goods over and over again as the same answer, and then they asked me, what's your favorite type of music, Andrew?
Yeah.
I was scared to answer, because I thought that they would say baked goods in response.
Oh,
But they talked about other stuff like music they liked for a little bit, and then they started talking about baked goods all over again.
Exactly.
There was a little bit of a lull in the conversation. Gosh, Miss Sugar Baker is so cool. I haven't seen them in forever.
Yep. She's the best.
Yep. We love you. We know you're listening, hopefully. Okay, so Katniss has her side hustle, Cat Kush, and Katniss fried chicken. Yes, and so it explains that on Katniss's 12th birthday, on May 8th, she goes over to the Justice Building, signs up for Tesseract, and brings it home in a little toy wagon. How very Kitteridge of her.
True.
Yeah, is this the wagon she referenced barely riding? Yeah, like, she had this little toy wagon, and she didn't even get the chance to ride it?
Right?
Was she getting charged every time she rode in the toy wagon or something?
Something crazy.
Yeah, or was Burdock like, stop, Katniss.
Sorry, our Andrew's cat
Hey,
is
stop it.
playing with the microphone and smelling it.
Yep. Okay.
You might have just heard a little cat wheezing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
He's contained.
Yep, and maybe Burdock was like, Katniss, leave the wagon alone. I'm using it to get cat kush. I'm bringing it in from the forest. Yes, and then, so after her 12th birthday, she returns on the 8th of every month to receive her rations now that she's old enough to be in the reaping. She can also choose to increase her supply in exchange for her name entering the bowl more times.
Yep.
And so Katniss returning monthly on the 8th means she was just 4 days off from receiving more tesserae, since the reaping takes place on July 4th. Bummer.
Yep.
The issue of birthdays comes into mind because of my close fan, who I'm going to call Bakama, who is coincidentally also a friend of District 14, was born on February 29th. Assuming Panem goes off of the Gregorian calendar, if you're a kid in the districts and your birthday takes place on a day that doesn't appear regularly every month, what do you do? There are only 7 months with 31 days on the calendar, but 5 of them have 30 days, and February, generally speaking, has only 28 days unless it's a leap year. Well, what does your family do then?
I wonder if they just would do the day that's closest at the end of the month.
Yeah, I'm thinking that, or they're just screwed.
Yeah, or they go, well...
Yeah, sucks for you to be born on a 31st.
Exactly.
I guess your family just kind of starves that month.
Yep.
Okay, February must have caused so much consternation for the capital and the districts. It's a titchy little month where a few unlucky few district children born in months of more than 28 days go hungry. And if you're in the capital, you have to account for leap babies at every single reaping.
I wonder if they still do leap years.
I hope so, for the comedy, for the lols. So if my friend Bakama was in the district when he was physically 16 years old, he could conceivably still avoid any and all reapings because his birthday has happened only 4 times in his life at that point. 4-year-olds can't apply for tesserae, don't be silly. After all, he'd have to be 12, technically 48, to qualify for tesserae. 18, technically 72 at maximum. And that still doesn't guarantee he'd go in. The odds are in the favor of leap babies.
So true.
Yep. It would really be to the advantage of parents in the district to conceive 9 months off from one of the 31-day months just to be on the safe side.
But that's the thing. They're safe from being thrown into the Hunger Games, but they're not safe from starving.
Those poor 4-year-olds.
Those poor 4-year-olds.
Yeah, and after this, Katniss began trading at the Hob, which initially intimidated her, but Burdock's four customers respected her as well.
Mm-hmm.
Who Katniss sells to is not mere trivia. All the merchants Katniss references as having traded with will play a larger role in the series going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Ruba, who plays a role in Katniss negotiating the purchase of Lady the Goat, is all about that KFC. Mm-hmm. Otho indulges in squirrels, but he only buys them when Popea isn't around. Gale got a great price for bread on Reaping Day to service his prop comedy routine by indulging Otho's guilty pleasure.
To remind you all of this prop comedy routine, he sticks an arrow through a piece of bread.
Yes, and makes it look like he caught it.
It's a hilarious joke that everyone loves.
Well, everyone in the scene loves. I know many people in the merchants would as well.
No.
Remember last episode we were talking about him trying to explain the joke to Peeta and him being like, but you don't hug bread, you bake it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
And then they kiss, according to Andrew.
Yeah. What do you think well, I think that he goes in and kisses him first, and then they start talking. Mm-hmm. Just to sort of get their mind off of anything else. Mm-hmm. And then he brings up the prop comedy thing, and Gale just does like a little trick to see if it would work between him and Peeta. That's what it is. And he's like, hey, check it out. And he pulls out like bread from the pot with the arrow in it, and he's like, I don't get it. He's like, whatever.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, wait, can I get another kiss just to be sure? Yeah, what would their name be, their relationship name? Hale?
I could see that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because as all the color goes from their face when they see each other, they're like, yeah, Peeta. And then Katniss is just left in the dust and Mad getting what she wants.
What about, PL?
PL?
PL.
PL.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The Hunger Games. That's what the Drag Race parody should be, where Madge muscles in on Katniss, and then Gale and Peeta just go fuck each other.
Ew.
They just go where Madge says, "Go fuck yourselves."
Ew.
And they do. Grace, I'm sorry that all this homosexual love is disgusting to you.
Quit.
Okay, and then Oh gosh. And then anyway, back to the customers. Cray loves wild turkey. This is a sneaky bit of foreshadowing you'd easily breeze past on first read. But in the interest of future installments, I won't say how just yet. Only it's going to be in book 2. Keep your eye out, ear to the ground for a future episode called The Spark.
Mm-hmm. We already remember how the mayor loves strawberries.
Yep. Whereas Katniss's other customers all favor fresh meat, he passionately prefers a punnet of strawberries.
Mm-hmm.
That, from Madge has her dad buy them for Katniss because of her own passion. Hashtag Undercat. Later on, a different kind of berries come into play. Of course, any little lad worth their bushel will turn up their nose at Nightlock. It did come with berries and cream.
Berries and cream. A little lad with berries and Nightlock cream.
Yes. Not for much longer.
Not for much longer.
Our hero, Swamp Potato Everdeen, discovered her own namesake in the woods, Katniss.
Mm-hmm. And her dad told her, as long as you can find yourself, you'll never starve.
I think you should become a cannibal, Katniss.
Ew.
There's already flesh eaters in the woods.
There are flesh eaters in the woods. And so, Katniss's mom, Astrid, now that she's been eating some food, she's kind of coming back to the family. Like, Katniss overhears her singing. She's still doing some of her apothecary stuff. She's getting back to it. But Katniss is kind of annoyed about that. Yeah. She's like, okay, you choose now to come back and be present? I don't trust that. I don't trust you.
Here's the quote. Prim was thrilled to have her back, but I kept watching, waiting for her to disappear on us again. I didn't trust her. And some small, gnarled place inside me hated her for her weakness, for her neglect, for the months she had put us through. Mm-hmm. These resentments leak out occasionally, like on a later paragraph in the chapter where Astrid commented that Katniss always eats like she'll never see food again. Katniss, queen of gloomy sass, isn't having it and says, I won't unless I bring it home. That shut her up. Mm-hmm. Also, it could just be her being a teenage girl.
True.
Yeah, And now Katniss is feeling kind of bad. She's like, we never really were able to set things right, but I did hug her and say goodbye and everything, and I loved her in the last chapter, so hopefully it evens out.
Yep. She's wondering about how they're doing back at home. She's like, can they even eat? Are they okay? Have they been watching the news on the TV to hear about me? And just to put this into perspective, everything in the earlier parts happened this morning.
Yes.
So this is still the same day.
Yes. It's going to end very soon. We'll get to that.
Yep.
Yeah, and everything is televised. Everything that happened, like Katniss volunteering, was televised, and the goodbyes, I don't think, were part of the program. I was kind of wondering what parts of the games, like the pre-games and then the games themselves, are shown to the audience, like the training.
Right.
Maybe they would show the goodbyes if it was, like, really important to somebody's storyline.
Yeah, from what I remember, they weren't filming them for District 12, but I can imagine maybe they do it for other districts.
Well, they filmed the reapings, but the goodbyes, I think, they could opt out of doing it if it's just not necessary.
Yeah. And so she's thinking about at home, and then she thinks about, well, you know what? I'm glad that Prim, she's probably going to be in the bed with my mom. They'll be there to comfort each other. And then thinking about the cat being there, scruffy old Buttercup watching over Prim, and it's comforting to her. Like, if she cries, she'll be there for her. And then classic Katniss says, I'm so glad I didn't drown him.
Yes, this is a terrible night for the Everdeen family, except if your name is Buttercup. Lady the Goat probably likes Katniss for saving her from the slaughterhouse, but Buttercup has probably never purred louder in his entire life. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the idea of Katniss never returning to finish what she started when he was a kid and would make him so happy. The Everdeens would return to their home to find him wearing a little tiny party hat and throwing a cat party with his cat friends like the family of the Lane's Katniss shot. And there is a banner that said, Katniss isn't coming home, yay. and Prim is upset and crying, but then Astrid's like, how did they put that up there? Mm-hmm. She's just more confused, if anything.
Yep.
And you know what? This is a really sad book from Buttercup's perspective because Katniss doesn't die.
Exactly.
Chapter 27, he's like, oh, no, not her. She's going to drown me again. She can afford a more expensive cat now. Mm-hmm. Okay, and also I was wondering, why do you think Katniss and Prim respond differently to their mom coming back to them?
I think it was harder for Katniss because she was the one who had to be in charge of everything, and she was so young.
Yeah.
She was the age that Prim was when she got reaped.
Yeah.
You know? And so she had to be in charge of everything, to the point that she and her entire family almost died.
Yeah.
But Prim was so young, she wasn't able to take over in the same way that Katniss did.
Yeah.
And so Katniss has that responsibility that Prim didn't have in the same way.
Yeah, and also Prim is the younger child, and she lost her dad recently, and she must have been terrified about losing her mom, too. And so I think that she wanted to reconcile with her.
Yep.
I know that in a lot of families where people have difficult relationship with their parents, kids approach their parents in different ways. Like, some of them just want to keep distance, and some of them want to continue to maintain a relationship. Mm-hmm. And I think that also Prim is generally a more optimistic person than Katniss is.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, Katniss is, the pessimism with her is a double-edged sword. She is able to keep her family safe, but she's also pushing away people who otherwise don't mean her harm. Madge would never harm Katniss unless she accidentally put the pin on Ron, and she said, "Ouch!"
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry. Okay, here it is. Here it is.
Here.
There's my answer. She's dead. Bye.
Bye.
Love you.
Love you.
I love you too, as a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then finally, Katniss and the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day finally comes to close as she falls asleep.
And she has a delightful awakening when the terminally cheerful Effie comes in and says, "Up, up, up! It's going to be a big, big, big day!"
Yeah, Effie takes the tact of Nanny from Eloise, who tends to repeat words 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh, I want to have a shot at up, up, up! It's going to be a big, big, big day!
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I wish there was somebody who was that happy to see me in the morning. This is why I need to get married. But I have a cat, but he doesn't say hello as much as feed me.
Mm-hmm. And he bites Andrew on the nose.
Yes, feed me, or I'll go to Buttercup's party.
Mm-hmm. And put
on a tiny little cat party hat. And hand out the catnip rolls. The catnip blunts.
Meowth would look so cute with a little party hat on.
Yeah. He sure would. Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll show pictures if we get enough subscribers.
Yep. And so she wakes up, she's like, this bozo about Effie. There's a part I want to bring up. So she is talking about, she's wondering what the stylists are going to make her look be. And then she says, I just hope I get the one who doesn't think the nudity is the last word in fashion.
Oh my god.
Again, she's a child.
She's 16 years old.
She's a child.
What the hell are you thinking?
But the district, I wouldn't put it past them, honestly. Like, there's crazy stuff that goes on in the district.
Yeah. So I was wondering about this as well. Do you think that the nudity is censored on television?
I mean, violence isn't.
Violence is not. Kids are getting killed all the time, so sadly I do think that could be something that is more socially acceptable in the capitals like nudity. Although
you do see in the movies that they bleep swearing.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, so that's where they draw the line.
No potty mouth.
Yeah, no potty mouth. We can show somebody have their throat being slit. Mm-hmm. That's fine. We can show somebody in the woods taking a shit. That's fine. But watch your language.
Yep. And so Effie's there. She's drinking a cup of black coffee, which means shocking to me. Like, she's not drinking, like, a unicorn frappuccino or, like, something insane. It literally says black coffee, which is, like, no milk, no sugar, no anything.
Yeah.
That seems so unlike her.
Yeah. But maybe she's doing that so she can stay terminally cheerful.
But anyways, so she's annoyingly cheerful, terminally cheerful, and then Peeta is holding a roll of bread. Classic
of course
Peeta.
He is.
Classic Peeta.
His hands are bread. He's eating bread.
Exactly. So Haymitch is like, come over and eat some food. They get to have hot chocolate for the first time, which is exciting. And so they start eating everything. Every single thing. And this glutton Peeta is taking off the bread and dipping it into his hot chocolate.
That sounds tasty.
Mm-hmm. And then Haymitch, he's drinking alcohol.
Yeah, it's 10 p.m. somewhere.
Exactly. And she says, I realize I detest Haymitch. And she talks about how people in her district never could really have a chance because he's so unreliable, he's drunk, he's not helpful. So then Katniss decides to say something. And she says, so you're supposed to give us some advice. And he says, here's some advice, stay alive. And he starts cracking up. Yeah, funny joke, hee hee ha ha.
Yeah. Also, a couple quick things before we move on. Katniss passes on the coffee. She doesn't like it. Her mom likes coffee, and her mom is stupid. That's her perspective. She tries coffee again in Mockingjay and still does not care for it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Astrid's family, the Marchers, could regularly afford coffee, whereas the family she married into, the Everdeens, cannot. Wait, is that another reason why Katniss might have a difficult relationship with her mother? This was a Java junkie and was spending all the family's money on coffee?
She's like, please, we can only eat burnt bread.
No, I said beans, not coffee beans, Mom.
Exactly.
Okay, we get into Haymitch, and he's laughing in a mean-spirited fashion as tributes. So neither of them are amused, but Peeta in particular is triggered.
Yes, and so she looks at Peeta and she says he has a hardness in his eyes. He generally seems so mild. So then Peeta says, that's very funny. And then he lashes out, he knocks the glass out of Haymitch's hand, party foul, and says, that's very funny, only not to us. And then Haymitch just sits there for a second, and then lobs him, punches him in the face, punches a 16-year-old in the face, child abuse. And so Katniss then grabs a knife, basically stabs it like right between his fingers, so he doesn't actually get stabbed. And he just looks at them. At first, Katniss is like, oh my god, he's gonna punch me, he's gonna punch me. He doesn't, which I guess is a good thing. Well,
he already punched one child, so I can understand her reasoning.
Exactly.
It's horrible. It's unequivocally child abuse, and Peeta grew up in a broken home. It's horrible.
Yes, it's really horrible. He literally grew up being punched, and then this old drunk man punches him. And so...
Yeah, and I can't see it as him, like, testing their strategy or something like that. I think he was just schnookered and has anger issues.
Yep. And so...
Can you believe they're going to go on to consider each other family one day?
Yeah, they're going to be family besties.
Mm-hmm.
And so, basically, she stabs it. She stabs, not him, but she stabs the table. And in the movie, that's where you get the line, that is mahogany, from Effie. But she's not in the scene in this book. She exited the dining car, so she's not there. So, we're in there, and then Haymitch looks at them and says, well, what's this? Did I actually get a pair of fighters this year?
Mm-hmm.
And so Peeta goes to ice his face, and Haymitch's like, no, let them see that you're bruised. Maybe they'll think you were fighting with the other tributes. And they're like, isn't that illegal? Aren't you not supposed to? And then he's like, no, it looked cool. It looked like you did it, but didn't get caught.
Yeah, like a rascal.
Exactly. Like, you should totally let yourself still have the bruise. And then Haymitch turns to her and says, can you hit anything with a knife besides a table? So she thinks she usually uses the bow and arrow, but she's used the knife before. And so on this moving train, she grabs the knife, throws it into the wall, and she actually does a pretty good shot. She says the shot that she did makes her look a lot better than she is.
Yeah.
So, good for her.
Yeah, good for her.
Yep.
And so in the movie, they make that exchange that only really exists for the audience, where Haymitch tells Katniss the best way to succeed in the arena is to get sponsors to like you. In a vacuum, it's a really well put together scene, but in hindsight, Katniss should really know this by now.
Yep.
Especially considering she remembers at least 10 games that have happened in her lifetime, let alone clips from other games that happened before she was born. Even if she tried her best not to watch them, she would still be bombarded with anecdotes and pop culture osmosis.
Yep.
So her reacting, to this information, most children or teenagers would be able to pick up on this just by watching, makes movie Katniss look a little less intelligent than book Katniss.
Yeah. I think part of it is they're just trying to describe it to the viewers who may not be familiar with things. So they're telling rather than showing it.
Yeah. It verges on being a problem, but still where choreographed, I chalk it up to a necessary evil.
Yep. And so then she throws the knife, and Haymitch basically makes them do a little fashion show 360. He's like, okay, let me see you. And she says...
Fashion show with breakfast.
Yep. So he walks around them, prods them like animals at times, checking their muscles, examining their faces, and says, well, you're not entirely hopeless. Seem fit. And once the stylists get hold of you, you'll be attractive enough. Again, they're children.
Oh my god.
These are children! Don't forget, these are children. And then Peeta, they say, Peeta and I don't question this. The Hunger Games aren't a beauty contest, but the best-looking tributes, aka children, always seem to pull more sponsors. Ew.
Ugh.
Ew.
Yeah, and going back to that as mahogany, do you think that after you poked your head back in and said, oh my god, you threw a knife in the wall and you put it in my table, that's mahogany, I brought it from home! Haymitch is like, I nearly lost a finger. That can be replaced.
Exactly. We have all sorts of technology now to replace that finger.
Yeah.
This is a one-of-a-kind...
Yeah, hey, Effie, I got a finger for you.
Exactly.
Well, I didn't know it was the Hungover Games. You're funny, Effie. And they passed it out again.
Exactly. So speaking of Drunkle, he's like, okay, I'll make a deal with you. You don't interfere with my drinking, and I'll stay sober enough to help you. But you have to do exactly what I say.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, I guess this is the best we have. Cool.
Yep. Basically, if you don't stop me from drinking, I will stop drinking.
Yeah. Like, okay.
Yeah, it's like, you have to let me stop drinking.
Yep, you have to let me.
Yeah, trust me.
And so, he says, I'll help you out, just don't knock the drink out of my hand again. And so, they're like, okay, we have questions. We have specific questions. And then he immediately interrupts them. And goes, one thing at a time. We're going into the station. They are going to, the stylists are going to mess with how you look. Don't push back on anything, just let them do whatever. Mm-hmm. So they're asking about strategy within the games, and he's like, just let them give you a makeover. And then they go through the tunnel. And through the tunnel, they're going basically through the mountains. And that is stressful for Katniss, because it reminds her of when her dad died in the mines. It was surrounded by darkness. So, another stressful moment for Katniss.
It's almost like she is beginning to go to hell.
Yep.
Because she sees her district at her home. That could be interpreted as heaven. And then he's going through a dark, tight corridor where that looks like hell. And then they go to the capital, which is sort of like a combination of them, in that it looks like it's made to be heaven, but everything is just uncanny to Katniss. Mm-hmm. And also, we learn about how the capital won during the Dark Days. The primary reason the capital was never able to be invaded is because the mountains protected them against the rebels. Mm-hmm. So while they were cut off from their resources, they were still safeguarded in their palaces and such.
Yep.
Yeah, and this is something that really made me realize how restrictive travel between the districts are, because Katniss and Peeta are both running to the window to catch a glance of the capital, which they've only seen on TV before.
Mm-hmm. So they go from this darkness, this depressing place, and then suddenly they see insane colors and sights. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the cameras haven't lied about its grandeur. If anything, they have not quite captured the magnificence of the glistening buildings and a rainbow of hues that tower into the air. The shiny cars that roll down the wide-paved streets. The oddly dressed people with bizarre hair and painted faces who have never missed a meal. And, wait, did they dye their dogs?
Yeah.
Why would they do that?
Why are their dogs pink?
Yeah, why are they eating them?
Ew.
All the colors seem artificial. The pink's too deep, the green's too bright, the yellow's painful to the eyes. Like the flat round disc of hard candy we can never afford to buy at the 20th Sweet Shop in District 12. Mm-hmm. There's a too muchness about the capital. Like Los Angeles or Las Vegas or Los Angeles, where you can imagine visiting there, but living there permanently is an acquired taste.
Yeah, or like New York City or something like that. Like there's a lot going on.
Yep. Mm-hmm. The 20th Sweet Shop that Katniss mentions, it is currently owned or was owned by the Donner family. And Marilee E. Donner is Matt and his mother. I wonder if she still owns it, because she's the mayor's wife. So she could still conceivably own it on the side, but the description of her in book 2 is that she is a drug addict, and she's kind of similar to Astra in that she's just sort of cut off from the rest of the world emotionally because she lost her twin sister.
Yep.
Yeah. It doesn't really strike me as being, like, within her ability to run a business. But there could also be other members of the family that are running it.
Right.
And then up until this point, I was seriously questioning what Peeta would even do to survive in the Hunger Games. Like, how would he even cope? He seems like he's sad and doesn't want to go, and, like, he hasn't really shown that he's, like, especially dangerous. Mm-hmm. But then I started to realize how dangerous he was, because he began to look out the window and smile and wave at the well-wishers waiting for him at the train station. And that was the moment where everything clicked for me with his character. Oh, now I see what he brings to the table. He can do something that Katniss cannot do. He can lie and manipulate people with his charisma. Mm-hmm. And then Katniss was already annoyed by Peeta, and then she's like, oh, maybe he's kind of dangerous. Maybe I need to watch out for myself. Mm-hmm. He hasn't accepted his death. He is already fighting hard to stay alive. Which also means that kind Peeta Malark, the boy who gave me the bread, is fighting hard to kill me.
So, his success is her peril, essentially. So she's freaked out. She thinks that, oh my god, he's so much more social than me and charming, which is true.
Yes.
She is totally a Debbie Downer.
Yes.
And she's like, he's going to get sponsors, like, and she even earlier in the chapter talks about how he's kind, and that immediately makes her not trust him. She's like, oh no, I'm going to care about him, and then I can't kill him. And then going, oh my gosh, the people are going to care about him. They're going to want him to survive. They're going to send him stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And
this is why I think that ultimately the scene between Katniss and Haymitch ultimately ends up working, and it's not really a problem for me in the movies, because it caps things off nicely where Katniss was asking, how do you find shelter? Like, how do you survive? And then Haymitch explains the way to survive to get people to like you. And so far, sweetheart, you're off to a bad start.
Yep.
And then he eats his tiny little cake. He loves the tiny little cakes. Mm-hmm. And everything comes together where he hands her the table knife that was stuck in Effie's mahogany table that she brought from home and treasured oh so much, and says, you should take this. Peeta knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. And that is the end of our chapter.
But we're not done quite yet, because we are going to discuss Katniss, Peeta, and Haymitch as a character trio. Mm-hmm. Some memorable trinities that me and Grace grew up with include the Bella, Edward, Jacob triangle from Twilight, the Carly, Freddie, and Sam triangle in iCarly, the Golden Trio in Harry Potter, the Lily, Miley, and Oliver in Hannah Montana. This trio is unusual amongst its counterparts because most trinities and fictions are around the same age. Mm-hmm. You'd have expected Gale maybe to be a member of the trio alongside Katniss and Peeta, perhaps as a former victor. This would make Gale more like the character of Four from Divergent, where he serves as the instructor and love interest of Tris Pryor. I was just watching those movies for the sake of YA comparison, and it is so weird that this main character who is a drill sergeant is also her love interest.
Yeah, it's strange.
Yes. I guess that's something that's okay in Dauntless, but in non-human faction, whatever, it's weird. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But Gale in the book isn't really in it that much in terms of physical appearances. He only maintains a steady presence through Katniss' thoughts.
Yep.
And then the sequels lean a lot more heavily into the love triangle. But they have to deal with the ramifications of Katniss and Peeta being coupled. Gale throws a fairly large wrench into the works because of his will they won't they history with Katniss. Yes, you compare this to Twilight. Edward and Jacob are, at best, vexed by each other. At worst, they're snarling at one another to the point that Bella has them declare that we're in Switzerland, okay? To calm her menses down. But aside from understandable jealousy between one another, Gale and Peeta are actually pretty cordial with one another. But ultimately, Gale, while he is an important character in the books, I wouldn't say he's part of the main character trio that makes all the big decisions. That would be Haymitch stepping in.
Exactly.
They get far more page time, and they dictate the direction the course the series takes more as time goes on. Now, our Grammy PD was one of the original hippies, went to Woodstock and everything. Mm-hmm. She assured us she did not get naked at Woodstock. I'm not sure if I believe her.
The lie detector test determined that was a lie.
Yes. She didn't say anything about doing drugs. She did grow some cat kush in her garden and was arrested for it.
She was.
Yeah, and then our little Aunt Cassie was taken to the police department station as well.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't arrested, but she was just like there because there's literally no guardian at the home because you just arrested my mom.
Exactly.
Yeah, hey, Cassie, want to help your mom undo the fingerprints? Yeah. Our fascination with the Zodiac calendar no doubt came in part from her earthy embrace.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm an Aries, born on March 24th. Aries are adventurous, egotistical, headstrong, and romantic.
And I'm a Libra. Libras are known for being artistic, fair, indecisive, and sociable. Heavy on the indecisive.
Yes. At least you think, right?
I don't know. It goes this way or that way.
Yeah. These traits befit both of our personalities, and for a little thought experiment, I did some additional reading to see if the District 12 trio's astrological signs would inform their character journeys.
Yep, so, as would surprise no one, Katniss is a Taurus. Hardworking, independent, stubborn, and trustworthy.
The significance of May 8th being Katniss' birthday is that May 8th, 1945 is Victory in Europe Day, when the Nazis agreed to an unconditional surrender.
I just want to take a moment and say there's so many specific things in these books that Suzanne Collins has done as specific calls out to things like in our world. Specifically, like having Haymitch's birthday be the 4th of July, all sorts of things like that. So she is very calculated with these things.
Yeah, and we haven't even gone to Chapter 7 where Katniss pulls a William Tell.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to that when we get to that.
Yep.
So, I found this description from allure.com. Taurans enjoy relaxing, serene, bucolic environments, surrounded by soft sounds, soothing aromas, and succulent flavors. They're ambitious, focused, and resilient, and they feel most secure in steadily putting money into a savings account. Accordingly, these bulls may end up lingering in unhealthy situations longer than necessary just to prove a point. How do you think that matches up with Katniss' character journey?
I feel like she is definitely ambitious. She's resilient. She feels the best when she has what she needs. But I do think that there's a number of times where she's in situations that are unhealthy, but she just feels like she has to endure and get through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking like, hey, so that she's making decisions that are unhealthy out of like spite.
Out of spite and also out of survival.
Survival, yes.
She doesn't have a choice.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I really like the description of her of being like most at calm in nature. And she is most secure when putting money into her savings account because it comes very little. So she's very diligent in that way.
So we get to Haymitch's birthday, July 4th, like I talked about. 4th of July, Independence Day. And that is the day when the 13 colonies signed the Declaration of Independence.
Hey, wait a minute. Weren't there 13 districts at one point?
Oh,
makes you think.
Dang. So he is a Cancer. And Cancers are evasive, nurturing, kind of surprising at this point, pessimistic, not surprising, and proactive.
Yeah, he's proactive about finding chocolate cake, Grace. And tiny little cakes that may or may not have chocolate in them.
Mm-hmm.
At first, these crowds may be perceived as cold or distant, according to allure.com. With time, though, Cancers reveal their gentle nature, genuine compassion, and mystical capabilities. Whoa. Oh, can Haymitch do magic? Like close-up magic. Mm-hmm. Although he does see a ghost when he's really drunk. Mm-hmm. They love to create cozy, safe spaces that serve as their personal sanctuaries, then spend lots of time in them. Cancers care deeply about their families and are equipped to adopt caregiver roles. That doesn't really sound like modern Haymitch, but younger Haymitch really was a caregiver.
Definitely. The version of him now is definitely more so cold and distant.
Yeah, he's more like in his own space and just doing whatever.
Mm-hmm. And then Peeta. They don't say when his birthday is.
Yes, but come on, it's Pi Day. He's so breadcore, it would have to be March 14th.
Yep. So that would make him a Pisces. And the traits of Pisces are being creative, generous, oblivious, and self-pitying.
Yeah, he's oblivious about how loud he is in the woods. Katniss, I was reading ahead in the book, and she is such a butthead about, oh my god, Peeta's so loud, I hate it. Yeah. Where he's never been before, I might add. Mm-hmm. So, allure.com, those with this sun sign must be wary of mirages. These visionary fish have unparalleled access to the collective unconsciousness through their clairvoyance and make incredible artists and creatives. Kind and gentle, they're invigorated by shared experiences of music and romance. This one really stuck out to me and ultimately swayed me towards him being a Pisces because of the events of Book 3, where he's hijacked and is seeing all these crazy visions. Mm-hmm. And then that also complements him being an artist and him being kind and gentle. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I originally thought it was a joke, but actually Pisces seems to fit really well with him.
I think so too.
Yeah, and then if you actually compare it, the signs actually get along with each other pretty well. And then I found this article on zodiacsign.com regarding the Pisces-Taurus romance combination. Taurus and Pisces probably won't have the need to talk much. They're not talking much now. Instead, they will understand each other through all types of nonverbal communication, curious about each other's next movement. They're curious about each other's next movement because they're like, are you going to be my friend? Are you going to try to kill me? Mm-hmm. Taurus is turned into a material reality, hence Katniss being so realistic, and Pisces to an emotional one. So, Peeta isn't always thinking logically, he's thinking emotionally about, I want to protect Katniss. Mm-hmm. And that's how the bread connects them, where Katniss is like, what does he have to gain from throwing me the bread, or why did he do that? And then Peeta's like, I just threw the bread because I wanted you to not starve. Mm-hmm. Their values differ a lot, but the one they share is uncomparable to others, love. Another sign of the zodiac can truly understand the way these two love, especially when they are in love with each other. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a bit of a journey for Katniss to reciprocate.
Exactly.
But she'll get there.
She'll get there.
Yeah, whenever somebody develops feelings for another person, there's usually the first person to confess. Mm-hmm. Someone has to make the first move, and Peeta definitely made the first move by throwing bread at her like a football.
True. But things are not looking good right now, because the chapter ends with Katniss being like, he's dangerous, he's gonna have to kill me, or I'm gonna have to kill him. And he is charming and sociable, and I am me.
I am me.
Mm-hmm.
Section 3, next time on District 14.
Well, that just about wraps up Chapter 4, The Train. What chapter will we read next?
I'm glad you asked that, Grace. The next episode is going to be called Chapter 5, The Capital.
Ooh, can't wait.
Until next time, I'm Andrew.
I'm Grace.
Happy Hunger Games!
And may the odds be ever in your favor.